Hi everyone, Sarah here from the Paper Cut. Today we are doing our Fishy craft along, so if you have this kit, get it out. We're ready to go. The one thing that's a little bit different about today is I'm actually not live. I am pre-recorded. I'm in Iowa right now, moving our son for college. And I wasn't sure if I trusted the internet there, and now I don't have all my camera equipment. Ron would have had to be holding my phone straight on me and then up and down, and we wouldn't have had comments. So I'm in the hotel right now in Iowa. I am live with comments. And I usually do go slow enough and repeat stuff, so hopefully that won't come up. But if you do have any questions, please let me know, and I will type a response. I'll bring my samples, and if I need to take a picture to show you things, then I can take a picture. But I am live on comments with you, so thank you for joining me. We are going to go down to the table and just get started right away. So my mom's here with me recording. So right now, these are the two cards that we're doing. We have our reverse explosion card, which we have all pre-cut and scored, and then we have our front stair step card, which this is a new color for those. So I'm going to get into it right away because this one might take us pretty much the whole time, but I do want to show you how to die cut our front stair step card and fold that also. So I'm going to put our Fishy Craft Along kit over to the side. I'll leave my sample. We're going to start with this one. I just want to pull out, let's go ahead and I'm just going to show you the folding right away first. And we'll get it folded so you can see where things go. So this is my little diagram of mountains and valleys. Now when you are folding, and I'm going to get a blue one and fold it with you, but when you're folding, we're just kind of easing those scores. So we're just going to fold them into the mountains and valleys, but they don't actually fold down on top of each other to begin with. So let's just grab this. So this is the same. We're going to put that off to the side. So this is the same card, and we are just on all of our straight scores. So all 4 of our straight scores, we're just going to do valley folds. And I do have my indent facing up. I have my bumps facing down. So when we fold, our valley fold on all of our straights. So valley fold and unfold it, valley fold, unfold it, valley fold, unfold it, valley fold, unfolded. You'll notice that we have 2 big X's on here. So again, on our straights, valley fold, valley fold, valley fold, valley fold. Now we're going to go to our X's. So we have 2 big X's, and those are mountain folds. So on our X's, we're going to mountain fold, unfold it, mountain fold, unfold it. Then we go to the other side, big X, and we do a mountain fold, unfold it, and then a mountain fold, unfold it. So again, on your 2 big X's, it's mountain folds, mountain fold, mountain fold. And then on the other X, mountain fold, mountain fold. Now you can kind of see that these little areas right here are pushing in. So we're going to push those in, and I kind of take my fingers, my pointer finger and my thumb, and then I kind of take my other, I don't know what finger that is, that's the naughty finger, and that I push in. So pointer finger, thumb, and then your naughty finger or your ring finger, and you push in. That's just doing one side at a time and the other side at a time. I'm so used to doing it, so I do want to do both sides at one time and then just kind of give it a little push. If you do have a bone folder, which I don't think I put that in the directions, but this might be a good time to get out a bone folder or something and just give those a little push. So that is our reverse explosion card. Okay, so I'm going to put our little diagram away. And now we have our pieces. So let's pull out our pieces. I did pre-color my fish. Okay, so this yellow one is going to go right on the front. Why don't we just go ahead and attach that one, and our two sides right away. Before we attach our sides, we have these little blue strips, and they are going to get trimmed off, okay? So we're just going to attach our two little blue strips to that piece and then attach it to the front. So let me get my tape gun out. And I'm going to put tape on our two little blue strips and attach those. And then we're going to trim them. Okay, so scissors. Okay, and then these pieces are fitting right over on the side there. It looks like we had a slight oops when we cut, and we cut it wider on the sides than on the top and bottom. So if you do like perfectly even sides, you can actually trim that a little bit if you want to. I do apologize. Not sure how that happened, or just kind of scooch that in so it goes right up to the score. So up to you. You can either trim that, or I'm just going to attach it right on there. But if you like perfectly even borders, you might want to just trim a little bit off, because I think we had a little bit of an oops when we trimmed those. But I'm just going to go ahead and attach mine. So these don't work with the fold of the card at all. So that's why we're just going to go ahead and get those pieces out of the way before we cut our triangles. So I'm just going to attach that, and I'm just going to attach mine a little bit closer to the score, and that's going to give me a fairly equal border all the way around. Okay, so I attached those. Now our square we can go ahead and attach right to the front, and then you do have a plain white circle that you can attach to the front also. So you do want to just kind of push that down, attach that right to the front, and then we have a plain white circle in our kit. So we're getting all of these pieces out of the way that don't really affect the folds at all. So go ahead and get your white circle attached. And while we're at it, let's just take care of our stamped fish. Now that was part of the homework. If you did not do your homework, that's fine. This part can be done later, but let's go ahead and get that out of the way too, so then we can work on all of these squares right here. So this is a Stamplistic stamp along with their background stamps. Now I'm doing it totally different than Jennifer does. She layers it all up and uses her bling. So I am doing, I just colored mine. If you want to add bling, like on the little dots and on the dots of the fish, that would be really spectacular. And it would make him really bright and shiny. So anyways, I'm going to cut, and I have watched Jennifer do this a few times. I'm going to cut right on the black line. And if I goof, I always see her use a marker. I'm not used to cutting on camera, especially circles, but that does make it easier by taking a marker and just touching that up. But I am cutting right on my black line. So I know Jennifer does a much better job than I do. So I'm just cutting my circle right on my black line. I have it pre-colored. And again, if you want to bling him up, I think that would look really awesome. So, and I don't know what type of marker Jennifer uses, but I do see her go around, with a black marker and just kind of touch that up. So if you did miss a little bit of white, you can do that. Otherwise, it is layering on white, so you wouldn't see it very much. So I do pop that up with foam tape. And you're kind of doing the same thing on the other card too. Your timer went off. It went off. So, okay. So here we are. All right, so we have our fish. So now we have our squares that get attached. Okay, so this is one of their 4x4 squares. And we're just going to attach that. Now I did, and the blue ones too. Well, the blue ones actually get attached here. The orange ones are going to get attached right here. Mom, does it say on the video how long it is?
I'll look.
Okay, so anyways, we're trying to figure out how long I've been on. I set a timer, but it went off. So we have this square, and I kind of made this up as a little template for you to cut your triangles. Because these, if you cut them in half, it's just a little bit too big for that area. So I made a little template, and if you grab a personal paper trimmer and you trim on the lines, so trim on the black lines of the square. And then down the middle, I put a little bit wider line, because if you cut from point to point, and I'm going to show you, if you cut from point to point, your triangle will go right out to the edge. If you cut more on the outside of that thick line, you'll have a border all the way around. So one side I'm going to do on that black line, on the edge of it. So, and this is a personal preference, and I'm just showing you the difference between cutting, you know, from point to point, so on the middle of the black line. Okay, so this piece is just a template. So see how when I cut, you know, straight down the middle from point to point, it goes almost all the way to our edge. But if we cut more on the outside of that line, we get it more a border all the way around. Okay, so we're using this template, and let's just start with the blue ones. And I cut them as best as I could to the edges. So I'm okay with it not being perfectly, you know, this one it goes off a little bit, this one it's on. So, and that's fine with me, but you could take any area of that and trace your triangle. I'm just going to go right on the back, because then I don't have to worry about it having a line on there, like from my pen. So I'm just going to go right on the back, right up to the corner. Then I know I have it nice and straight. I'm just going to draw my little line so I know where I'm going to trim. And I'm going to do that on the other side. I'm going to do this with 2 blue squares. Okay, so I'm going to trim those off. I'm going to do that with my other blue square, and then also with an orange square. So I'm just tracing, just so I know how big to make my triangle. I thought this was the easiest way for you to make a triangle. And then I'm going to do that with the orange also. Okay, my circle, I'm going to save. I'm going to cut diagonally, and I'm just going to cut out the half circle. So let's go ahead and cut. So And actually you can kind of see the difference here. On my orange one, I did make the little bit bigger triangle with less border. On the blue one, I left a little bit more border. So it's up to you whether you want to cut the little bit bigger triangle or the little bit smaller. It's about that much of a difference. I'm just going to try it on my orange so then I can show you. Okay, so I'm going to cut on my outer lines for my orange because those will be a little bit bigger. And make sure you use a sharp paper trimmer. Mine isn't so great. I do have another really good one, but it takes up a lot of space. So I'm just using my little one and hoping for the best. So I have these two bigger squares that are gonna go right there. And then my blue one, I did do that one as the smaller triangle. So my blue one, this was the difference. One of them was cut on the outside of the solid line. The other one was cut straight down the middle of the solid line. Our blue ones are going right there. And you know what? I think I am gonna pull up my bigger trimmer because that one is driving me crazy. Okay. Definitely is worth it to have a little bit sharper trimmer. But with this, sometimes on this one, I don't know actually where it's cutting. All right. And these pieces you could use for something else. So these are just our triangles that we're going to be layering. And again, these pieces we could save as just a background on a different card. So we have our blue triangles that we're attaching. And hang on. There we go. Now our orange ones, I did cut a little bit bigger. You can see that they have a little bit less border around them. And if I would have trimmed on my inside line, I would trim a little bit more off. And now that I see them, I think I am just going to trim a little bit more off those orange ones. And that's totally up to you. There's no right or no wrong for that. I just gave you an option to have a little bit bigger triangle or a little bit smaller. One gives a little bit more border of the blue card. Okay, so now we can attach all of our triangles in each space. Let's pull it down in the middle. Okay, when you're doing the ones that fit over the folds, I do them right over the fold. I just make sure to put tape going down the middle so it stays attached nice there. You can, if you're super ambitious, you could trim these right down the middle so they don't go over the fold. I'm not that ambitious. I am just going to attach them right over my fold. I did use a 65-pound cardstock instead of a 100-pound cardstock, and so it'll fold nicely over that fold. So let's go ahead and get tape on all of these. I'm using a little bit narrow of a tape so I can get into that corner, and if it goes off the edge, I just take my finger and I roll it in. But I did use a little bit narrow adhesive so I can get right to the edge. So go ahead and tape all those. I think we're at a little bit over 20 minutes, so we should be good for now. Because we're just finishing this one up. The only thing we really need to add is our yellow half circles and our words. Oops, that one I have tape on. Okay, so keep putting tape on your triangles. And we're just going to attach those triangles. My orange triangle is going right here. And again, you can cut your blue triangles if you don't want them. Oops, I forgot to put tape over where my score will be. You don't have to, since I put tape all the way around, but I do just usually put a little bit of tape right where my score is going to be. And I attach my orange triangles. And then we have our circle. So we can cut our circle in half, and then we're going to trim on the outside. So I'm just going to cut my circle in half. And then you're just going to trim your half circle. And actually you might have to trim it a little bit shorter. Oh, we'll have to kind of trim it a lot shorter. So you can just make a little hash mark there where you're going to trim it. And then give it one more trim. And our little half circle is going to attach right there. I'm not going to do that on the other side. I'm going to move on to our stair step card, but you can just keep working while I'm talking. So we have our half circle attached. And then we also have our word that I'm popping up with foam tape. And I did kind of put that right in the middle. So it'll kind of be covered up while our card is closed. So again, for folding, we can just take our fingers, kind of fold it in and push it down. Now you might have to use your bone folder again. It's going to be really poppy-uppy for now. So I still do have to attach my other yellow half circle. But we're going to move on just so I can show you the other card. All right, now we are all set to show you our A2 center step card. So these are new colors. We've had these before, but we added 5 new colors. So we added the festive variety. So we do have a variety of them, and it's our center step card. So this is the scores and the slits. So this long part is a slit. And then we have our 3 mountain folds at the top, and down at the bottom we have our mountain valley. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold. So you can go ahead and fold with me. I do like to turn it away from me. So the bumps are down, indents are up, and I just like to hold it this way when I'm folding it, turned away from me. I take my finger, my naughty finger, and put it behind the score, just on the outside. So you're either going to fold the outside or the inside. We're going to start at the outside. And then I take my thumb and my forefinger, kind of how we did earlier, and I just push for my mountain folds. And you can kind of see that this mountain fold is almost doing a mountain fold already. So we'd go ahead and mountain fold that one. So we have our 3 folds at the top, these 3 folds. Then we go down to the bottom and we have a mountain and a valley. So just a really simple mountain valley. Then we go to the other side, mountain valley. Then we turn it around and we just give it a smoosh, technical term, and that is our A2 center step card. I'm going to go ahead and do that one more time with my actual blue card. So again, I turn it around. That's up to you. If you want to do it with me, I turn it around. My bump is down. I take my finger behind the score, my pointer and my thumb on one side, fold that as a mountain. This one's kind of popping up, fold that one as a mountain. We have our 3 mountains, which again are these 3. Then we go down here and just do a really simple mountain valley, and mountain valley. Then I kind of turn it around, give it a smoosh, and now you're just going to attach your pieces. So we have our 2 yellow strips, we have our blue strip with our rickrack. Now your rickrack you're going to trim off. I do have it folded like this when I attach my oval and my circle. Now I did pop up my circle fish and my oval words. Now you want to make sure when you're attaching this circle on there that you don't do tape behind the parts that stick out. If you do tape on the whole circle, you'll stick that card shut. So you only want tape on this section right here that's attaching to the card. Also on your oval you have a little part that sticks up right here. So you don't want to get tape behind those. So let's go to die cutting it. So we sell them pre-scored, but we also have a die that cuts it. And to do that, the instructions say to cut your paper 4 1/4 by 11. 4 1/4 by 11. Then it says to measure from one end 15th, 16th. So I always take a template, and if you've done step cards with me before, you always know that I use a template. Cut it 15th, 16th, because then I can just attach that and we know it's straight. Then we're going to take our die and we're just going to set it on there. Make sure our template stays straight. Attach it with some removable tape. And then you're going to put it through your die cutting machine. So I have one of those behind me, and I'm just going to be back here die cutting. Just really quick. Okay, so we die cut. We can take our die off of there. We can take our template off, and I'm just going to show you the folding one more time. We have our, and I'm going to turn it around, our mountain, and then down here we have our little mountain valley. Now you can see that the scores don't score as deep with the little dies. So then we have our step card. So anyways, you are going to decorate your step card. Might not have time during this craft along. Then we have our reverse explosion card. So that was our Fishy craft along. We do have more kits left. So if you want to order the Fishy craft along, which I was looking for it, I can't find it in my space right now, but we do have the Fishy craft along left. We have our festive variety center step cards. We also have our reverse explosion cards. Those come in a 25 count or a 10 card with envelope. Our coupon code for today is Fishy. And usually I decide that like the night before. So I haven't decided that as of when I'm recording this video. I am going to put what the special is in the comments. But it is the word Fishy, and I will type that in the comments today. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for your patience. Have a great day crafting with everyone, and we will see you next